How the heck are you, everybody? I'm Fastidious and welcome back to my channel. Buckle up, folks, because we are back at it accumulating data. Look at your screen now. You can see we're doing the Fastidious Legendary Project. Of course, an enormous shout out to Seamus who helped me put this form together. If you don't know what this is, just by looking at it, perhaps you miss our epic drop rates project. We tried to figure out what the actual distribution among the epic heroes in this game was. So assuming you pull an epic, what are the chances you get this one versus that one? And man, was it crazy. You know, the chance to get an Estrid versus a mid-on, it was so hilariously skewed. And we were really hoping to force the hand of Moonton and really encourage them to be more transparent. I think the consensus among the community is we don't care if the rates are uneven, but we do care that they don't tell us. So naturally, after we released the results from our epic study and people saw how definitively we confirmed what we all knew, that the rates in this game are rigged, people wanted to know about legendaries. I thought maybe it would be painfully apparent that, of course, if they do this with epics, they would do it with legendaries. But the longer I've had, it's been a couple months now, and also as I've grown my platform a bit bigger, I was like, you know what, maybe we have the reach now that we should just confirm it with legendaries. We know what the results are going to be, guys, but let's actually come together as a community, do a big community source data-driven project, and let's all log our results for legendaries, and let's figure out how crazy some of these rates are. So we got our form here. Let me break it down for you.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
All right, folks, let's get into it. It's going to be a pretty simple video here. I'm going to break down this form in detail for you guys so you know exactly what to do. And then we're actually going to hop into my account, my Fastidious account, and I'm going to film the form out myself, just so you guys can see how fast and how easy it really is. One final giant thank you to Seamus the Hug Monster, who helped me build this form. He was a tremendous help and partner with the Epic Drop Rate Study. He is back for this one, of course, and he wanted me to personally tell all of you guys that he is hungry for more data. So let's get into it. Here you go, brought to you by me, and Seamus didn't want to put his name, but also, of course, brought to you by Seamus. Let's go right along. It's going to start off, you're going to need to put your account name and your Discord name. The reason we need your Discord name, sometimes people mess up their submissions. We found out about 8% of the time there was an error or some kind of input mistake. So hopefully we don't have that now because I'm going to explain it in such clear detail. However, it's nice to have your Discord name if you are on Discord, so Seamus or I can reach out to you and just be like, hey, we just want to double check this, blah, blah, blah. Then here you're going to see we have, is this a resubmission? So this form's going to be live for like at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll have to see how long it takes to get as many submissions as we want. And let me tell you, we want 1,012 individual unique submissions. That number may seem big. We only got 400 submissions last time. However, I'm thinking two things might make this go a little better. I think it went great last time. We had a much bigger sample size to draw from, right? Because people pull many more epics than they do legendaries just based on the rarity of each hero class. However, I think people might be a little more excited, a little more into legendaries, because I mean, that's why we play the game, right? We want the gold, shiny stuff. And also, I do have a lot more followers now. I do have a lot more subscribers, so hopefully a lot more people see this video. If we can get to 1,012 submissions, we are comfortably in statistical significance in terms of individual submissions. That also is a very high number, so it will guarantee if we go summon by summon, we'll have a lot of summons accounted for. So we're going to keep this up for like a week or two. We'll see how long it takes. I do think we can hit that 1,012 number. And in that time, if you pull more, like let's say we have it up another weekend or 2 weekends, right? And you pull more, you can always go in here, and I encourage you to do so. I absolutely will. Just resubmit your data, and Seamus and I will sort that out after. The more data we have, the better. So if you pull another 50 or 100 or 500 shards next weekend, 500 summoning crystals next weekend, that might be 3 or 4 more legendaries, and it's more data, and we get to understand the distribution even better. So that's why that is here. Then here, this is just for our records. It doesn't matter at all. We're kind of curious to see if the rates change between if you spend money on the game or not. So just so you can check off if you're free to play or a spender. I think for me, I will click spender, even though I haven't spent any money. It might slightly skew our data in case there's like some thing in the algorithm being like, this person has spent money, now they get better stuff. I don't know. But I mean, I think I identify as a spender now just because of how many free diamonds I get, even though I haven't spent any cash money. Anyway, how many days have you signed in? This is just, again, fun just to see on average how many legendaries people are getting per day. Be a fun little metric to get that I'll give you at the end. What is your total number of pulls? So this is something that you can pretty easily find by just going to the summoning portal. Please stop giving me offers game. Please, I said it nicely. Please, I'm saying it nicely again. There we go, summons. You can see here. So if you go to your normal, like if the normal Invocation of Spirits, now we have the Thanksgiving Invocation of Spirits, you click on Summon Rewards. This is the total number of like non-legendary crystals and non-ancient crystals. So all your rare summoning crystals, you can see I'm getting up towards 3,000. Those diamonds come in clutch. So for me, this would be 2,751 summons. They even write it for you really plainly here, or you can just take the number over there. So this number, the red number, for me, it's 2751, right? So you'd put that number in there, as we will do soon. Then, have you gotten any legendary soul stones apart from the Volca soul stones from Tide? So if you don't know, when you clear Tide 105 and Tide 125, and then if any of you have done Tide 135, you get Volca soul stones. So soul stones to awaken only Volca specifically. However, if we go over here and we go to the guild boss, you will see when you're at the higher guild boss levels, you do have a chance to have soul stones drop, right? So if we click on the rewards here, you can get a legendary soul stone right there, right? I've never gotten one. It seems like they drop like once or twice a year for people, and you do need to be farming high-end guild boss. So this would be really interesting to see on average how many legendary soul stones people are getting a day. You know, people progress at their own rate, but we can get a general number, especially if we have something like 1,000 submissions. It's gonna be crazy to see how rare they are, because they're shockingly rare. I know that for sure. So that's just a fun little thing we threw in there. And now to the actual sheet, the actual data tracking. So we made it really beautifully crystal clear this time. I really hope it helps. I think a lot of the issues we had last time with epics is there's a lot of little ways to get epics, like you could fuse a Komodo, you know, you get a free Wrath, things like this, right? Here, there are very, very few free legendary heroes in this game. Very few. So it's something you can definitely track. I guess the couple exceptions we are going to go over in detail. One thing we do have to mention, though, of course, is Volca and Abomination. Those are the two free heroes in the game. So we'll go class by class. Those are the only ones with any strong exceptions. The only additional one we have, and I think we will still count it because it still kind of counts as a pull, would be those when people bought the Legendary Hero Bundle that we had a month or two ago, and now we have the Piercer Legendary Bundle, the Northerner Legendary Bundle. We're just going to count those as pulls. It slightly skews things, but it is not really going to skew the distribution, and I think it's data worth having. So we will include that. So it really does just come down to the fighters. So as I said, we're going to go class by class. You can just see the number goes up to 6, and this is a key point, guys. 6 because you can have Awaken 0 all the way to Awaken 5, right? So your base copy is 0, that takes 5 additional copies, so 6 total. After that, you'll have more than 6. It means you're pulling so many dupes of that legendary hero, so it's really going to be for the people that pull a lot or have been really lucky or unlucky in a very specific way with one hero. If it is more than 6, it's very important, and I'm going to demo this right now since I don't have anyone that's A5, let alone anyone that's A5 and then dupes of them. But it's really important that you try to gauge this. So if it's more than 6, you probably crunched them. Like if you have an A5 Calypso, you've probably crunched extra Calypso to get those legendary awakening tokens. It's really important you try to think back and see. If you don't know, you can reach out to me and I can walk you through it. But essentially, let's just go down to Marksman just because I used Calypso as an example. Let's say I was Ray from the Dragon Slayers community on his Forerunner. He's pulled like 31 Calypso, right? So he has his A1 Calypso. So that's 6 right there. Or his A5, excuse me, his A5 Calypso. That's 6 right there. If you knew he pulled 31, not everyone tracks that. Not everyone's Ray, right? But that'd be another 25. So what you would do in here is you'd go here, and then you would go Calypso, 31 total, something like that, right? I mean, this is a very crazy, unique situation. However, there are going to be people that have like an A5 Shamir and they've pulled 2 more. I think a lot of people will remember that because that might be a traumatic event for you. But yeah, that is exactly how that would go. I guess we'll just leave this. I pulled 2 Calypso, so we'll just leave it right there for now because we're about to fill in my sheet. That's basically how it works. So for the other classes, like I said, there's nothing special. The only thing is you see all these ones have a special note that says Soul Stones. If you've gotten any legendary Soul Stones, please remember the number that you have used. For the vast majority of us, we probably haven't gotten any. And even for many of us that have gotten 1 or maybe even 2, you're saving it for like that Soul Cadence or Twin Fiend or something like that. If you have used them though, please try to remember because then that wouldn't count as a copy of that legendary that you pulled. So a good example, let's say you had an A1 Twin Fiend. Where are my mages at? They should be right at the bottom, right? So let's say you had an A1 Twin Fiend, but you pulled only 1 copy of Twin Fiend and you got lucky, you got a legendary Soul Stone, put that legendary Soul Stone into Twin Fiend, you still would only have 1 Twin Fiend, right? Because even though he's A1, as if you had 2 copies, you used a Soul Stone, not a duplicate copy. I obviously have 0 Twin Fiend, and it hurts me every day, so I'll keep that at 0 down there. That basically covers all our bases. We do have to talk about Volca and Abomination. Volca just don't counter. just keep her at 0. You can't pull her anyway, so you can just just put Volca. We might even end up taking it out of the sheet now that I'm thinking about that out loud right now. But as it stands right now, you can only get 1 copy of Volca when you beat all those missions, the 18 chapters, and then you get Soul Stones, right? You get 1 at 105, 125, 135. It sounds like on Forerunner they're adding even more levels, so I'm assuming eventually, it might take years, there will be a way to get A5 Volca. That doesn't really matter right now, but so she's going to be a 0, right? You're not pulling her. And then Abomination. So this is maybe the one tricky thing, right? Many people pull Abomination. He seems to have a very high pull rate. On top of that, he is a permanent fusion in the game, so you can get him without pulling him, right? So I'll use myself as an example. We can already start the fill-in, right? Abomination, I fused 1 copy, and I also pulled 1 copy. I have an A1 Abomination. However, I should not click 2, right? That wouldn't make sense. I should click 1, because one of those copies I didn't actually pull, and we're tracking drop rates on summons pulled, right? And that one was free. It was I pulled the epics and I fused the Abomination. I clicked Aracha. There you go. There's Abomination. I have 0 Aracha as well. Well, what a good point to transition into actually filling out the sheet. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to buckle up here. I'm going to put a timer on the screen just to show you guys how quickly you can do this. I'm also going to show you what I think is the fastest and most efficient way to do it, to make sure you're not spending 5 minutes on this and wasting your day. Just knock it out. Help the community. Help me and Seamus out. Let's get that data in, and let's bring Moonton to the podium and make them speak the truth. So here you go, brought to you Fastidious. Any questions, blah, 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 doesn't matter. We can go right along and we can put in our 2 names. So here will be our main name. So I'll put my name in as Fastidious. We'll go in here. I'll put in my Discord. So it's going to be Fastidious1 is my Discord. You guys can DM me if you want. Is this a resubmission? No. However, in a week or 2, I probably will resubmit. So this is not a resubmission. Even though I have not spent $1 on the game, I'm going to click Spender, as I said, because of all my free diamonds. How many days have I signed in? Well, I actually don't know off the top of my head. I think it's like 115, something like that. So we're going to go in here. If you don't know how to do that, you go in here, you go to daily sign in, and you can see 114. So I've done 114 days. Coming up on 4 months is kind of nutty. So I go back to my form here. We do 114. What is my total number of pulls? I remember it was 2751. So we have that. Have I gotten any legendary soul stones? I wish. 0. I wish, man. I'm not actually going to write that, but that's Seamus, I know you're watching right now. There you go. On to legendary fighters. You can see I already started filling it out a bit, and off to the races. This is where the work begins. It's quite easy, guys. This is how you should do it. You go, this is your camp screen. You go to heroes, sort by rarity for sure, and then just go class by class. We actually ordered it as you see them, fighters to healers. We put them in order of how they appear on this screen here. So we got fighters, and I'm just going to go down the list, right? Abomination we filled in. Let's start with, so I'll just try to do a couple of times. So that's 2 Zealot, 1 Arrogance, 1 Cerberus. So I can go here. There's a lot now, so you got to really scroll down. Where's my Zealot? 2 Zealot, 1 Arrogance, 1 Cerberus. All right, let's keep going. I already put in the Abomination. I already put in the Volca. So 1 Falsia, which actually is important to note. Let's actually see if we have it here. We don't, but we will track it. But Falsia is obviously going to have her own special thing that doesn't really matter. It's just going to be, we're kind of curious to see if people pulled for Falsia or not. And if they didn't make it to the 250 pity, if they got her. Obviously, her rate is not going to go into the final result since she's not in the normal pool. But that's 1 Falsia for me. Let's keep going. 1 Valkyra and 1 Kineza. So pretty easy there. And then it is important, guys, I'll fill these last 2 in. It's important for everyone else, you do have to check 0, right, if you didn't get them. So I don't have a Salazar, I don't have Ugaru, I don't have Absin, I don't have Valeria. Ooh, that one hurts, I wish I did. Giselle I do not have, and Ardiel, I really wish I had that too, and Elder. Oh, so many good ones I don't have. Those are the rare guys though, right? On to the legendary defenders. Just march on down that list, guys, so make sure you're still sorted by rarity. Click off of fighters, click onto defenders. This one I can just memorize really fast. There's only 4, right? So I got 3 copies of Regulus, 3 copies of Azor, 2 copies of Brokir, and I did get lucky and got my 1 Constance. So let's hop in right there. 0 King Hearts, 0 Gone. That was 3 Regulus, 0 Tortor. Oh, this is a slap in the face. 0 Reeve, 3 Azor. That's 2 Brokir, 1 Constance, thank God. And oh, I would love a Cyrus. 0 Cyrus. Pretty quick, right? Any legendary defenders that are more 7 or more? Absolutely, we do not have that. Onto marksman. You see I start with Calypso. This will take a little longer because there's more of them. Nothing too special here, so back. We go to our sorting function, off of defenders, onto marksman. Here you go. I only got the 6, right? So I can probably memorize it. We'll do 2 bunches. 2 Silas, 2 Nyx, 4 Cratch. 2 Silas, 2 Nyx, 4 Cratch. So 2 Nyx, 2 Silas, and my 4 Cratch daddies. And I already put in my Calypso. I got 2 Calypsos. And then finally 1 Cetrum and 1 Hex. It's pretty quick, right, guys? Like once you're in the groove, it's pretty quick. So 0 Hot Sit, 1 Cetrum, 0 I really want Sargok, 1 Hex, no Razak, and no Alora. Not yet, at least. Maybe I'll pull on Monday. We'll see. Moving right along, where there's only 2 things more. It looks like we actually did invert healers and mages, so I'm going to ask Seamus to fix that. But we'll do healers now. This again, there's not many, so it should be really, really quick. I do want the mages to be next, and then healers just goes in order. See, I even made a mistake right there. I clicked mages because I was going down the list. So only 1 for me, just the 2 Ezrans that I've pulled. This is a very easy one for me to put in. I wish I had an Elwyn more than anything. No Leia, no Dasomi, no Aelin. It's gonna be 2 Ezrans, no Carnelian, and no Sadie. I think people might be surprised that I don't have Sadie. She seems fairly common. She just has absolutely never dropped for me. Finally, we'll wrap it up with mages. I think this is going to come in at about 3, maybe 4 minutes. Keep in mind, I've been explaining everything. I could have just powered through this if I wasn't on camera. So it looks like the only 2 that I have 2 copies of will be Lasir and Zealous, and I have 1 copy of the other one, so I can actually just do this one in one batch because I know I have the 6 mages. So that's 1 Nocturne, 0 Iax, 0 Shamir, 2 Lasir, 2 Zealous. I just pulled them in my 1+1 this weekend. Oh, no Soul Cadens. There's my Morrigan, my only legendary lord. No Kriya, 1 Comet, no Venoma. Oh my god. There's 1 Virna, thank god. No Kata, no Dirtsa, obviously no Twin Fiend, and no Demi. All right, and that is it, guys. It was pretty darn fast. You can go back and double check. We actually made it this time, so it won't let you submit if you've made any mistakes. So hopefully that leads to better results and less errors. That's it. Just press submit, and you'll see your response has been recorded. Guys, I really hope you're excited about this project. Seamus and I certainly are. We're hoping to get some crazy data and really prove some crazy stuff. It should be addressed, of course, there's 10x and things like that. We are going to have controls in place for that. We're going to do our absolute best, and we're counting on you guys to provide your data, provide us with the results, so we can do some really fun stuff here as a community. As always, I've been Fastidious. If you like the video, like it. If you want to get in the comments and ask me or Seamus any questions, do that. Feel free to subscribe. We're almost at 7,000 subscribers now. And of course, share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you very soon.
Fastidious.